I just looked, 27 said they would be here today and 11 said maybe, so hopefully we get some more people. I think that some are depending on the fact that this will be recorded and they can watch it later, so maybe that's it. Well, we have Marilyn. Hey, Marilyn. I don't see your, oh, there, no? Yes, I see your microphone now. I didn't a minute ago. Oops. Hey there.
Hi, how are you?
Are you trying to set the record for number of Zoom sessions to attend with me? Huh? You've been at every one.
I missed yesterday though.
Well, okay.
Darn it.
That was impromptu. No, that was a last minute thing. I'm going to turn on my fan in here. It was cold, now it's stuffy. Tell me if you hear anything.
Nope.
Okay, good. Otherwise, I'll just sweat. Well, we have some other folks. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, we have 4 total, and Sue is waiting in the wings. She's in the waiting room. So I was just telling everybody that 27 folks said they'd be here and 11 said maybe. So,
well, that's good.
Half of that. That's okay. It's going to be recorded. I have a list of things I want her to talk about that I think are important. So we'll do it no matter what.
I always count on half of whoever I invite.
That's exactly what I did. I told her, I said half of this. That's what happened with Dr. Nolan and Dr. League, her name is League. We had half of who said they'd be here. So
yeah,
go figure. I have somebody who can't get here because they're on a Chrome, or they're on a laptop running Chrome, and Chrome wants her to download the app, and it is very confusing. Why can't there be just one way to do everything on every device, right?
That's true.
So I'm texting with Sue. I've got my iPad over here to monitor the group. I have my iPhone here to make sure I am in communication with Sue. and then I'm here. So multitasking.
Yep.
All right. Excuse me. I hope I don't. I've had a little bit of coughing again. I'll try not to do that here. Okay, what else? Well, we're good. Time is it anyway? It is 12:56. Where is everybody? Fashionably late?
Yeah.
Well, I told Sue that I may not let her come in yet for, minutes after 1 o'clock, just to see if we get more people. I don't want to be interrupted while I'm talking or she's talking with people, coming into the waiting room.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Monday's her day off, so I don't feel too guilty. We chatted. She and I did a video, a Zoom yesterday, and we haven't done that for a while. She and I need to do that more. We email each other every single day or text, but and I don't know why I'm coming late to Zoom. Okay, we have Sarah Hopkins. Sarah's coming. There we go. We'll move that over there, maybe. I'm still learning about Zoom. And you know, I don't know why I came so late to video. Seriously, people have been doing this for how many years now? And it's like, I'm just discovering it.
We just started doing it last year during COVID with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the weirdest thing because we can get on the computer and play games using our phone.
Yeah.
So half the screen is the game and half is us. And then we're using the phone to do the controls.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have Jane Thomas. Actually, this may be Jane McGinnis Thomas. I have to see in a minute. Who's been so helpful talking about the implant. She's the one, Jane, I think this is the one who was in the clinical trial for the port delivery system.
Oh.
We'll see. I hope that I shared this enough that I was looking today how many places that I shared the information. I hope I shared it enough, but there were still questions. What time? Well, okay, where are we here? Most people are staying cloaked today, you know, cloaked as in off camera.
Yeah.
I told my husband it's a chance for me to change clothes.
I got my another Christmas shirt on.
Oh my, you need to count them. You really do.
Ugh, I should, I guess.
Could be interesting. All right, let's see. We have, all right, come on, come on, come on. Okay, we have Cindy. Here we go. I have my notes. I think I'll have to take it off the clipboard. Okay. So we have 7 so far. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yep.
I'm making my lists and checking them twice. Now the fan's been on, I'm cold. Sharon should be here. Matter of fact, let me poke her a little. All right, number 7 coming up. No, number 8 coming up. We just added Joan. If there's anybody here who wants to join on video, but you don't know how, let me know. I didn't even think that that may be a problem because everybody's muted and off camera when they join. but you can always turn your microphone on, everybody. You can turn your camera on. Ah, here we go. The little ding dong bell, the little doorbell is telling me we have more people. All right. Yes. So we'll wait, let's see, it's about 2 minutes after. I've got screens all around and I never know which one to look at. We have Mary. Okay. Okay. Told Sue I'm going to wait till 8 minutes after. Hey, Joan. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. We have, let's see, we have 13 people. And on the screen, we have Marilyn as well.
Hi, Joan.
Other folks are
Hi,
choosing.
Marilyn.
Oh, no, Holly, I'm sorry that you're sick in bed. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, I could understand why you might want to be off camera. Let's get better soon. Joan, I told everybody that Sue is in the waiting room. So
Okay.
I told her I'm going to wait till 8 minutes after. So
Sure. Good idea.
just to be.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a while to figure which button to press.
Oh yeah. And we have
Yeah.
Mason who's saying having trouble but working on it. So that's oh, and we have Margie. Okay, so it's ticking up. 12. Okay, number 12. I just added number 12. I'm
Hi,
checking.
Linda. It's Mary.
Hello. Hi, Margie. How are you?
Am I on camera?
Yes, you
Yes.
are. Can you not?
Oh,
Okay. For those on camera, there is a setting called, well, you might see it as view. And if you want to see everybody at once, set it to gallery. See, like right now, I see 4 screens. Now I'm going to be a little distracted if we adding people from the waiting room. So you have any questions about that?
Do you want our video on or off?
That's fine. That's fine.
Either one.
That's fine. With a small group, it's not going to be a problem. It'll just go from screen to screen as we get new members. Or as, excuse me, it'll go from screen to screen as people are talking. Okay, now my little doorbell is ringing. Okay, Sharon should be joining us any second. I just admitted her. So we have 14. All right. There we go. Just told Sue 14. We'll give it a few more minutes. All right. Let's see what else.
Hello.
You hear my little dinger? Owner. Mysterious
Hello.
person. Hello.
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 Who's
Somebody's
talk-
saying
Who's speaking?
That's Sharon, and I'm having trouble.
Oh, okay. Let me see if huh?
Can you hear me, Linda?
Yes, I can. And I am going to send you a message to start video. That might help.
Okay.
There you are. There's Sharon.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
With her,
Sharon.
Sharon.
with her beautiful hair. Oh, so I wish I had her hair. Yeah, I know. That's it, Joan.
Mhm. So, how is everybody?
Getting over Christmas.
Is Christmas something you have to get over?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
All
I'm
right.
so slow these days.
Okay.
So,
Guys, go ahead and talk. I'm going to be a little busy, I think, trying to get a few people on here. And I'm going to bring Sue
Okay.
in momentarily, and then we'll get started.
Linda, as a question,
Yeah.
if people, I'm looking at the 6 people, I can see their faces.
Yeah.
If people want to be seen, do you have to share that, or can they do it themselves?
They can do it themselves. Good question. On
So-
your screen somewhere, there's a picture of a microphone. If it has a slash through it, you're muted. If you
Okay.
choose it, you're muted.
It's usually on your lower
muted.
left,
Say again?
and you'll see mute and stop or start video.
Yeah, on a laptop. Don't
Oh,
write.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think I'm, this
Oh,
is,
hello, Ellen.
I'm on my PC now, so.
Ellen, you look all nice wrapped up. Is it cold?
Well, I'm in California and it's 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm still in my robe.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I didn't realize that I was supposed to wear lipstick like all you ladies.
Not me.
Not
Not
me.
me. Are you kidding?
I put some on.
I have not worn lipstick in years. I don't even own lipstick. You know, who
Okay.
needs it, right? So it's 8 minutes after. Should I bring her in?
Sure.
Sure. Without further ado. Okay. She'll pop up. Oh, wait, I lost my screen. I gotta quit. I hate this mouse I have. Oh, that means nobody is in.
Can you see me?
Not yet. There you are.
There you are.
That's Sue. There she is.
Oh,
Hey,
Lord.
I told you. I told you 8 minutes.
Hey,
Yeah.
Linda, can you see me? It's Mary.
Mary.
Well, yeah, okay, hold on a second.
No.
I'm gonna put you guys on gallery.
Okay.
I don't know how to do this too well. I'll just watch you.
Well,
Okay,
Mary.
gallery is in the upper right-hand corner. There's a thing that says view.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's a thing that says M.
Oh, that's because that's your name, I'm assuming.
Oh, well,
Okay.
there's something on the bottom that says participant, share contact, start
Yeah.
video.
Yep,
Well-
try upper right-hand corner. It's a bunch of little dots, little squares, and it says
It's
view.
It says view. I
Well,
can't see that. It says
Okay. Now,
more.
wait, you're not on are you, what device are you on?
My Apple iPhone.
Okay, then it may be different and I didn't log on with it. Do you see a picture that looks like a video camera? Do you see a picture that looks like a microphone?
Underneath, there's a mute.
Yes. where it
Okay,
says-
okay, there's also beside it should be a video camera.
It says start video.
If you press that, you'll be on video.
Oh,
Your picture will come up.
Yep,
allow Zoom to access camera.
Yes.
there you go.
So I did that.
Okay, cool.
We're waiting. Everybody's waiting with bated breath. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do while you're working on this. I am going to get started. First, before I turn this over to Sue, because once I turn it over, nobody's going to want to hear from me.
No, nobody's gonna get your individual.
There's actually 2 stories to tell. And one is what you all know, and that is in May 2016, I started the group that you belong to. The question is, why did I do that? I ask myself that every day. But the reason I started that is because Sue, my friend from college, and that is many, many years ago now, called me and said, I can't believe it, but I have geographic atrophy and I cannot see, I cannot see well enough to continue to work. I can't drive. What's going on? That was January 2016. Okay, that's how Sue and I started this journey with her macular degeneration. All right. So some of you were with me when I started the group in May, and I started it initially just to be an extension of the website that I created for Sue, that Sue's been writing or had been writing for many years. I found out people wanted to talk about the disease, and there wasn't any way to do that on the website. So that's why I started the Facebook group. But Sue, being the smart person that she is, says, I have enough going on. I have a life. I don't want to go on Facebook. So have at it. Probably one of the best decisions she's ever made. But anyway, so that's the bottom line. Now, as far as, there's a couple things. You will hear her call me Lynn, L-I-N, okay? That's what my closest friends and family call me. You call me Linda. You know me as Linda. She'll call me Lynn. Why did I ask her to come and see you today, or for you to see her, talk to her? I keep telling everybody what she does, and that's important. She has geographic atrophy. She has a big blind spot in each eye. Her visual acuity in one eye is about 2160 to 200. And then in the other eye, it's 20, well, she can correct me later, 2063 to 80 in the other eye, okay? That's not very good vision, especially with a blind spot. And yet, she does everything she did before. And what I mean by everything is a lot. She works full-time as a psychologist, and we're both 68, so she hasn't retired yet, and I keep asking her why not. But anyway, I diverge. She teaches, she travels. She just made 2 solo trips this year. She goes to exercise classes, and when she can't go out of the house to go to them, she does them online. She's exercise crazy. She skis, she kayaks, she rafts, she rides her bike, and I want to talk to her about that too. How does she ride her bike safely? And she took a little hiatus from writing for our website, partly because she had lost that angst. You know, she's having her life, and after 6 years, it's changed, and she can tell you about that. But she still writes for the site maculardegeneration.net. And yeah, she is amazing, Patty. You're right. Don't tell her that though. No. So anyway, what I asked her to do today is, she and I talked about some of the things that I want her to cover. But first, I want her to try to tell you what it was like for her in the beginning in January 2016. So Sue, go.
Okay, let's go back a little before that.
Okay.
Okay, I had been told I had drusen and that I should take the supplements. And I did that, and I had no idea what they were talking about. So I went, you know, a few years like that just fine. Probably more than a few years. And then the summer of 2015, I'm driving down the road. You know, it's summer. I've got the windows open, the music's blaring, and I get something in my right eye. So I do one of these, and the car in front of me disappears. So that was a little bit disturbing, should we say. So called the ophthalmologist, and he referred me to a retinologist, and it turns out that I had lost the vision in my left eye. You know, not totally, because we never lose it totally, you know, very seldom, at least with geographic atrophy, unless you're very, very, very old. But I had lost my central vision. But I still had one good eye, guys, so I was fine. Come the end of January. Oh, okay. That is Maggie. There's probably somebody on the road in front of us. And we all know that this is Maggie's road. And no other dog shall be on there. So if she gets too loud, I will like shut her up.
Where's David?
David's in the other room. He's on the phone. He just got the call.
Okay.
So, okay, be that as it may, I'm good. So then, end of January in 2016, I go skiing. Everything's fine. Drive myself home. Over the next few days, I started losing vision in my right eye, and it became a point of I can't see. And I called the ophthalmologist, the retinologist, and he says, basically, he said, "You're crazy. You know, there's absolutely no way you lost the vision that fast." I, as usual, am an anomaly because I did lose my vision that fast. The theory is that different blind spots connected, and I wasn't able to do the closure and connect the dots that I used to be doing. Okay. So I found myself at the ophthalmologist. I had had my husband drive me there, fortunately. I have not driven since then. That was February, you know, because it took him 2 weeks to actually realize I wasn't crazy and that had actually, that actually happened. So that was February. I came home. I couldn't drive. I had been reading a J.D. Robb novel. I had 30 pages to go. I couldn't finish it. And I was a little bit upset because I had just lost what I saw as my independence. I had just lost a vocation, an avocation, you know, reading, because I love to read, always did. And I'd also lost my vocation because I was a school psychologist and I needed to see. So that's about the time that I called Linda and said, basically, help. You know, as a psychologist, I know that journaling and telling your story is really important. So I decided I was going to journal. And while I was doing this, we might as well make a project out of it. And we went online with the website, you know, with the blog. And after that, it just sort of took off, and she has done amazing things, you know. There, she, you know, you say I'm amazing, I go no. I say you're amazing, you go no. It's nice we get along. But be that as it may, that's where it started, was that I had lost my vision and I had absolutely no place to go. You know, bless his soul, because he's a lovely man. But my retinologist basically said, yep, you have advanced dry AMD. There's no cure. There's no treatment. Just basically go home and go quietly blind. Copay, please. You know, it wasn't those words, but that was the sentiment. And from what Lynn says, a lot of you guys have had the exact same experience. And, you know, talk up, because this is a conversation. Has everybody been in that same state?
I don't think I was ever told that I would go blind, actually.
What were you told? Joan.
Yeah. Well, it all started about 3 or 4 years ago with the first eye. Just that I had wet macular degeneration in that eye. And I guess I was silly not to ask any more questions. The thing was, I knew a little bit about it because a couple of my friends had mentioned that they had it, and I even knew about you had to get injections. So I really lent on them and asked them more questions than I did my retinologist. And they were both coping pretty well, but one was blind. I think for the first 6 months or so, I thought I'm going blind. And now my eyes are going on quite stable with the injections, luckily. So I actually don't think about it very much,
No,
Sue.
and I will agree with you. I don't think much about it either. Right now, I am more peeved about COVID and the fact that everything has gone to hell around here than I am about my eyes, really.
What I asked Sue the other day, if it weren't for COVID, would she be still doing everything she used to do? And she said yes, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm stuck, basically.
So it's not your eyes, it's the disease.
Yeah, in a way, because, you know, like I have a decent life. I really do. I mean, would I be in a perfect world, in my best life, would I be sitting home playing Angry Birds, waiting to go online? Would I, you know, like, would I be here? Would I be seeing my clients on Zoom? Would I not be going to the gym so I could be socializing with my friends? No, that's not my best life.
She would
But
be driving around, she would be masked, driving around all over wherever. She would be, if she could drive. So.
Yes. And Joan, I know by your accent you're somewhere in the UK, and I would be there, damn it.
No, I'm actually in Canada, but originally from the UK.
Okay, I'd be there too.
Yeah. Oh, it's cold here. It's cold here this week.
Did you get snow?
And yes, some snow here, but in the north they got about 2 or 3 feet, I think, in
That's
the
a
north
bit
of
much,
BC.
But I'd like to get out. I'm definitely going to try to get out my cross country skis, but I have to convince my husband to take me downhill. You know,
She drives me crazy. You know,
Sue.
she is. I'll just a minute. I just want to say this. She has always run rings around me. Every time I've been with her, and in college, I have to give her credit for taking me on my first adventure. She took me to the ocean for the first time. She took me to New York City for the first time.
I took a frat party for the first time.
Well, the frat party, I didn't want to mention that. Jeez. But anyway, seriously, this woman, and if it weren't for COVID, and if she could drive, she'd be out there getting into trouble.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Joan, you had another question for Sue?
Oh, I just wanted to ask you if she could explain how much can you see, Sue?
Okay, what can I see? Okay, I very seldom, when I'm working this close, I don't usually use my glasses because they really don't help that much.
No.
You have, okay, you're fairly large right now. I have you on my iMac, which is like an 18-inch screen. Okay, and then I have you on super magnification. Okay, you don't have a left eye right now.
Oh.
Okay. When I'm walking the dogs and they start going crazy, they're my early warning system that within about 100 yards, there is another woman walking her dogs and I can't see her. She's gone.
What about exercise class? How do you follow the exercise, the jazzercise or rap or hip hop or whatever?
No, I do hip hop. That's Monday evening. That's my happy place. I love my hip hop. My hip hop is taught by a Japanese guy and he's wonderful. But
how do you see the person to follow?
I'm in the front row and everybody around me is following him anyway. So if I'm not close enough to Hitty to see what he's doing, somebody around me will be doing hopefully the same thing. Otherwise, two of us are going to be doing the same thing.
So you're moving your head back and forth to find your sweet spot?
Not usually. I'm not totally blind in my blind spot. My blind spot is white fog. Okay, and I don't know if everybody agrees with that too. What do your blind spots look like?
Do we have anybody on the camera though that has blind spots right now? We may not.
No.
Oh, Marilyn, tell us
Hi.
about,
Yeah, I was driving like Sue, and the same thing happened to me, and I covered one eye, and that car in front of me was gone. So it's like, but for me, it's like from 9 o'clock till noon. So it's the upper left-hand quadrant.
mhm.
That is a blind spot for me.
Okay, my left eye is primarily the upper middle. So when I go in for a vision test, I'm either doing this and I'm looking out, or I'm doing this and I'm looking this way. You know, I did 2100 the other day with my left eye, but as I tell her, I'm usually pulling that out of my ass.
Yeah, you're cheating.
I'm cheating like,
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, you cheat. Yeah.
I cheat. You
You
know,
have to cheat.
yeah, I mean, I look for my sweet spot. I try, you know, I take lots of time to try to figure out what it is that I'm actually seeing. After all these years of taking vision tests every month, I know that they don't have two of the same letters in a line. You know, that kind of stuff.
Do you ever get tested for things like contrast sensitivity or,
They do, they have done what they call the MIA, MIAI or MIAIA, which is a peripheral test.
uh-huh,
And we do reading tests, which are a joke, because they want me to not only read, but also use my glasses. And my glasses are for far vision. So that's like, you've got to be kidding me. No, really? But, and I have to have them at a fixed spot. What else do we do? Okay. Right now I'm in a different study, but in the other study, every 6 months we did acuity. We did the dark acuity. They, you know, they'd put a occluder on me. We did blood pressure, urine, the Maya thing, which was like, you know, dot. We'd do OCT, we do autofluorescent, all those they do.
If my members don't know, Sue's been in the APL2 trial from Apellis. Actually, the trial is supposed to be finished, and they created a new trial with people who were in some people who were in the study. They had to be invited to this group. Now, Sue still doesn't know if she got the treatment or she got the placebo. They're telling her that that they don't have everybody finished, which is ridiculous. But anyway, so she doesn't know if in the study she got the treatment or the placebo, but in this study she is getting the treatment. Right, Sue?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the treatment. This is the long-term or longitudinal study,
yeah,
where they see what actually happens to you when you have taken this particular drug for 3 years. So I still don't know whether I was in control or whether I was in the treatment group. I thought that I was in the treatment group because one time when they were either actually giving me the medicine or pretending they were giving me the medicine, I thought that the syringe stuck and he had to basically go, ugh. And then I heard bubbles and I thought, oh, I'm definitely in the treatment group.
Well, people ask me a lot about that, Sue. They ask if you've noticed any change in your vision.
Okay, now that is a totally different, okay, right now this is just step one. Step one is not going to cure my vision. Okay, and Lynn, remind me I said that because I want to elaborate on that.
Okay.
Basically what they're doing is they are starting out with slowing it down. What they are trying to do is just to slow the progress of the disease. You know, like supposedly the lesions are not supposed to be growing as fast as they did.
And that's the purpose, is to stop the lesions, the blind spots, I guess, the scotomas from growing.
Growing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. what they are trying to do, and this is the sciencey stuff on this, but you have two different types of immune systems. We all think of the one that has antibodies, but there's actually an even older one than that. And that's the one that, you know, like even low, super like lower animals have. And it causes fever, it causes inflammation, it causes, you know, pus, all that kind of stuff. And that's the immune system that goes wonky when you have an autoimmune, you know, disease. And they call it the complement system. I don't know why, because technically the other one's a complement system with an E. And that has what they call a complement cascade, where this chemical reaction happens, this one happens, this one happens, this one happens, this one happens, and then it attacks your body. Okay, what they're trying to do, this is a complement inhibitor. They're trying to knock out one of those steps in the dominoes so that it doesn't happen as fast, it doesn't happen as, you know, severely. So they're just, right now they're slowing it down. Phase 2, they were saying that they were getting between 33 and 40% reduction, which means instead of going blind at 100 miles an hour, I would be going blind at like 60 to 67 miles an hour.
You don't mean blind, you mean
No.
centrally blind.
Centrally blind,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so I would be going centrally blind at between 60 and 78 miles an hour, or 70, whatever I said. Okay, 67. So right now, what they just got back, they were saying it's about a 22% from the phase 3, which means I would be losing my central vision at 78%, 78 miles an hour, as opposed to 100 miles an hour. So I'm not going to see improvements because there will be none. Does that
And you
make
were,
sense?
I think, and then you were going to sort of, oh, wait, anybody have any question about that part? Sue has a long-term plan. She knew going into this that this was not going to restore any lost vision. So this next step, go ahead, Sue.
Okay, now the thing about macular degeneration is that the RPEs, the retinal pigment epithelials, which are the servant cells, and stop me when I start to bore you or to get over your head, because I can talk forever, I promise you. But anyway, the RPEs are servant cells, and they take care of the photoreceptors. Okay, so when they feed them, they clean up after them, everything. Okay, so when the RPEs die, since the photoreceptors, which are the royalty, don't have anybody to take care of them, they die too. Okay. Now what this treatment is supposed to be doing right now is slow down the death of the RPEs. It does not replace the RPEs, and it does not replace the photoreceptors. Okay, and basically, unfortunately, in my case, dead is dead. Okay, you can put every medication you went to in my eyes. It's not going to make them come miraculously back to life. They're gone. If you guys have ever looked at some of your OCTs, there's a rather large hole in my retina where my, RPEs used to be. So the 10-year plan, I'm like the Soviet Union. The 10-year plan is, I first got into the stage 3. I am now in the longitudinal. After that, I have already volunteered. They think I'm crazy, but I'm going, me. Okay, when they do, when APL does, Apellis does a study that determines whether or not having taken APL2, can you still get stem cells? I'm in phase 1. They don't know it yet. But Okay, then that will give me back my RPEs. Okay, that's still, I've got a castle full of servants with no royalty. So then my next move, and Lynn, you follow the research much more than I do anymore. Last time I checked, they were growing photoreceptors in the lab. They were not able to implant them. They could get them in your eye, and they were not connecting to the optic nerve. Has that changed, Lynn? Have you heard?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't.
Okay.
Although there was one study, and I'll look at that and get it to everybody, including you, Sue, that they were, somebody had implanted them in humans. So that's, of course, the next step. Don't remember. I don't remember. I'll check.
That's the thing. It's like having a cell phone with no tower. I mean, they can put them in there and you have a perfectly functioning cell phone. But unless you have some way to get it connected to the tower.
And to the brain.
Yeah, to the brain, it's not going to work. So that's kind of what's happening there. So is my vision improving? Absolutely not. You know, am I losing ground a little bit more slowly? I hope so. You know, and I put myself in a position to be there screaming at them and being a nudge when the next thing comes down the path. So.
Well, let's pause here and see if there are any questions about the trial and what Sue said. Sharon.
Yes. Hi, Sue.
This is Sharon, by the way. Sue.
Sharon.
This is Sharon, our first member of on the site and the first member in the group and my right-hand person. Okay, go ahead, Sharon.
Sue, what do you hope is coming along in regards to research?
Okay.
What do you think holds the most promise?
What holds the most promise? Well, it's what I've wanted ever since we started, which is stem cells. That's what I want. And I haven't been doing a lot of research recently. I don't know, with COVID, my professional life has gone to Hades. I have, like you went psych clients? Boy, do I have psych clients. But yeah, I would love to have that. Gene therapy is also starting to look pretty good.
But it's different for AMD since AMD isn't an inherited disease. What they're doing with it for wet AMD is they're creating little gene factories for wet AMD that would produce the same proteins as in anti-VEGF. And then, but for dry AMD, they are working on the complement factor, trying to turn that off. So.
Yeah, I think I just did an article for Health Union. I have no idea whether they, put it out there or not. But they are looking, they are looking to turn it off. The study that I'm in right now is a stopgap. This is every month that you have to go in, like you have to get it. It's labor intensive, as you guys know, treatment intensive.
What about Europe? Are they doing anything with respect to gene therapy and stem cell therapy in Europe that we're not doing here?
That's a good question.
You can ask Lynn that. Not that I'm aware of. The study I'm in is actually an international study.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a lot of collaboration. These studies that are done aren't just done in the US. There are people like the NIH right now is doing a stem cell study that has a lot of promise, but it is, again, an international group of people. And, there may be other things in other countries that we're just not aware of yet. So
I had seen on TV a number of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, a man in the UK regained vision with stem cell, I believe.
There were two, that was a study done out of the London Eye Hospital with
Because it was coffee, wasn't it?
yeah, that was Professor Coffey. And there's stuff on yeah, there's information in our group about that. If you search for COFFEY, they enrolled 10 people in the study. They treated 2, and both had some vision gains, but not entire vision. But
Yeah.
they, before COVID, well, they had a couple bumps in the road, one of which is, I can't remember what big pharma company pulled out for a while, and then they got the funding again, and then COVID hit. They're planning on treating the other 8 people, but I haven't heard an update on that.
And that will, okay. Basically what that does, and Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you put the RPEs in, they start doing what they need to do. They start cleaning up the mess. They start feeding the photoreceptors. So the photoreceptors that were on life support, that weren't doing much of anything, come back.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. You know, the ones that have already died, now they're gone. But the ones that were on life support that were just hanging on by a thread, you know, they come back.
But here's the big point, and one of the reasons that Sue is here, I want to get back to that, is because while we're waiting for research, you can live a good life. You know, you can do things. As a matter of fact, Margie, I'm going to get to you in a minute, but
it's almost a side question, so it's okay.
okay. Well, as getting back to what Sue does, somebody asked the question, how do you ride your bike safely?
Yes.
Okay, how do I ride my bike safely? Well,
Yep.
to begin with, my husband and my local best friend refused to allow me to ride down to the fairgrounds because I have to cross a 3-lane highway and a 2-lane road, both of which are very busy.
Thank God for them. Otherwise,
Otherwise, I'd be crying.
roadkill.
Well, you know, I actually wrote a page about when I got my my orientation and mobility person here. I wanted to learn how to cross Route 11, which is a 3-lane highway, on my bike without getting myself killed. So he shows up with a whole trunk full of white canes and all this other shit for people who are totally blind. And I'm going, no, I want to ride my bike. How do I get across the road?
With a white cane.
Oh yeah, ta-da, here we go, church. Jeez. But these people who seem to think they have to take care of me will not allow me to go across a 3-lane highway or a 2-lane road. So what normally happens is that my friend Rochelle, who's a bigger exercise nut than I am, I swear she is really, will come and get me and drop me off at the fairgrounds. We have an agricultural fair in Bloomsburg. I don't know if anybody's local, anybody East Coast? No? Okay. We have an agricultural fair here, and we have a rather large fairgrounds. So I will take my bike and ride around in circles around the fairgrounds for about an hour. Okay, so how do I do it? I have a central vision loss. I still have peripheral vision. So, and I'm also 68 years old, so I'm not exactly going to get going great guns over that damn. You know? If I'm doing about 9-10 miles an hour, I am not outpacing my vision. You know, and if anybody goes any faster than that, more power to you, right? But 9-10 miles an hour, and I keep my vision on the horizon, which means I can see everything down here with my peripheral vision. So I do manage to avoid holes and stones and bumps and all those things, you know, just with my peripheral vision. No, I don't get going crazy great. I don't go down hills and just let it rip, you know, because I don't, if I get faster than 9 or 10 miles an hour, I don't see things coming fast enough to actually respond.
But you're not exactly riding in circles. The fairgrounds has paths and things, don't they?
It's a parking lot with paths and around, and yeah, and sometimes I go out into the local neighborhood and go up and down their roads. And
I just don't want everybody to think that you're just going round and round and
no,
round
I'm
and
not
round.
going around and around and around. I mean, I go through the parking lots, which are actually dirt parking lots with dirt and stone roads, and around, inside where it's paved. And I get an hour in. Then my husband comes and picks me up with a truck, and we throw it in the back, and I bribe him with buying him dinner, and we're good.
Margie, I want to get Sharon, do you have a question about the biking?
No, but I have a question about
wait.
just
Okay.
everyday activities around the house and what adjustments you have made.
Okay. To begin with, you probably have more domesticity in your little finger than I have in my entire body. Okay? Let's start there. Housework and cooking are not my fortes.
Never have been. Never have been. I roomed with her. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Those years, and not so, even now, popcorn and a diet soda was a meal. So
ice cream, a thing of ice cream.
Yeah, Valley Dairy, VD. Used to go to VD all the time. So how do I do normal activities around the house? I fill a dishwasher. If it, if it comes out dirty, I run my fingers over it. If I don't happen to hit it and it goes in the cupboard, my husband goes, this is not clean. Oh, okay, throw it in the sink. What?
Cooking?
Oh, cooking, I try not to. But, if there is, everybody has recipes in their head. So I don't really read recipes. If I did, if I get something like, a pork roast or something, and I need to figure out how many pounds, honey, how much is this? How long does it say? Or I can always call Be My Eyes.
Good point. How often do you use Be My Eyes?
Not that often. I will tell you quite honestly, I have used it for demonstration to people who have visual impairment more than I've actually used it myself. The one time I used it, I was walking with the dogs, and there was something in the field. It was a herd of something. And they were just mesmerized. They sat there and stared at what this was. I couldn't see it. And I wasn't going to climb over the fence to figure out what this was, right? So I got out my camera and I put it up. I said, what am I looking at? She goes, sheep. I said, okay, good. And then I showed her the dogs, and we both had a good laugh because they were like, Mommy, what is that? That's so interesting. Oh my heavens. But yeah, they will tell you what you're looking at. They will tell you what the sign says. They will read you. Has anybody else used Be My Eyes? No?
Yeah, I have to encourage people to try it more.
I mean, it's great. You can, if there's something that you don't understand when you're reading, or that you can't see, directions or something on a label, you use that. And they have volunteers in all languages and all countries. They had, last time I checked, they were touting the fact that they had made 1 million volunteers.
Do you use apps? Like if you're in the kitchen, so you're in the kitchen looking for a can of something. Do you use an app or a magnifying glass or what? Or do you have things in particular places?
Well, I try, but I also have a husband.
Yeah, well, not everybody has a husband who's going to help them.
Well, no, I mean, he's the one that puts them where I don't think they should be. But
okay.
Yeah, no, like I said, usually I'm very limited as far as, what I actually do cook. But I will use, you guys all, do you mostly have iPhones?
Some do, some don't. A lot
Oh.
don't.
This is worth its weight in gold. I mean, the other smartphones might be too. I don't know. But my phone has more stuff on it.
Yeah.
It's got a magnifier. It's got reading programs on it. You know, it's got GPS. You know,
GPS,
yeah,
GPS for the car, but you don't drive. You mean
walking,
GPS for walking?
walking.
Oh, okay.
Okay, when I was in New York City in October, you
By
know,
herself, by herself.
Lynn tells you I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn. I'm one of the most stubborn people you will ever meet in your entire life. I'm pig-headed. I'm bull-headed. I don't care what you call it. You know, I admit that fault. There are other I don't, but that one I admit. But be that as it may, I had my 50th high school reunion the first Saturday in October. It's 90 miles away, folks. This is not rocket science, right? So I call the bus station and they say, well, we can't get you there. What do you mean you can't get me there? Well, we only go to Philadelphia or Manhattan. Okay. So I went 3 hours into Manhattan, got myself a room at the Westin, which was expensive as hell, but it's only a block away from Port Authority. Got tickets to the Lion, got a ticket, me, the Lion King. The guy at the hotel walked me over, showed me where the theater was. That worked really well. And then the next day I went to Rockefeller Center. And I used this. I put Rockefeller Center in and it walked me there. You know,
A lot of people don't know that you can get walking directions. We've been able to get them for years, just didn't think about it. Now, who walks, right?
Me.
Yeah.
Google Maps.
Yeah.
Google Maps.
Yeah.
So yeah, I walk I mean, if I wasn't able to walk, I would be climbing walls.
Margie, why don't you go ahead? I don't want to miss you. And then I have somebody in chat.
I have an unusual set of eyes. Every time I go to a new doctor, they're a little surprised. My eyes work separately from each other.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm monovision. So like peripherally, I can shift them back and forth. They don't work together. They don't fuse. So I see double.
Okay, lovely.
And this is from a childhood situation. And when I developed GA, so my left eye is it's 20/200, so it's very compromised. And when I developed GA, and I said to my retinologist, what level am I at? And he said, in terms of the GA, and he said, well, you have a lot of degeneration already in your macula from essentially from years of non-use. Okay. And I'm not young. So he said there's a lot more damage than in your right eye. But he said something which hit me in the head when you were talking, so that he said, for me, even if I was able to bring back the RPEs and the photoreceptors, there's the connection between my brain and my eyes is so established that I'm not going to probably get that sight back, at least from the original, it's not injury, from illness, let's say, disease. And I was wondering if that makes sense, based upon what you were saying.
That makes perfect sense. You're okay, and I'm not a physician, so this is just speculation. Anybody, jump in here. But Okay, neurons that fire together wire together. And you have had a lifetime of neurons firing and wiring with different things rather than together. So it's like a rut. You know, when I talk to clients about changing their behaviors and their thought patterns, I said, it's going to be a super effort because it's like ruts in the snow.
Yes.
You know, like you try to, if 5 or 6 cars have gone through fresh snow before you and you try to go there and then turn, it's going to throw you right back in. So yeah, it would take a gargantuan effort for you to actually get rid of that training. That's what I think.
I had years of vision therapy as a high schooler. The doctor believed he could retrain me to fuse my eyes, and I couldn't. Which the whole thing the reason I brought this up was another issue that I've struggled with. Here, I've had enough trouble riding a bike without macular degeneration and GA because I have balance issues. Just because I don't always know where my body is in space, essentially. And I've done a lot of work with my personal trainer, my Pilates. So I'm not athletic like you. In fact, I hate it, but I do go to her, except for COVID now. But do you deal with balance issues, or does anybody else deal with balance issues?
I have
because of your vision.
I've always had problems with my balance. Actually, she was my second yoga instructor, Sarah Lynn, makes fun of me because my balance has actually always been pretty crappy. And that was way before GA because I've known her for about 17 or 18 years. But why don't you get a tricycle?
Excuse me?
Why don't you get a tricycle?
Yeah.
I'm just not that interested in biking, but for years, my husband and I got a tandem for our wedding, actually, 50 years ago. And we rode it for a number of years, but now we kind of feel it's not the safest thing at our age. He's almost 80 and we're just, that might not be.
Tricycle too.
Yeah. You know, they're so long. And when you ride them, we're in suburban Boston, and it's just not safe, we feel, for us. We're to pass it on to our daughters. But the balance issue is something that I struggle with. And it's gotten worse with the GA because I don't have the same tools that I've developed over the years for my 3D, for lights and darks that I've always had. Since I apparently don't see 3D, I've developed my own way of seeing it. And so it's like everybody else, it's a challenge. I'm not complaining. But I agree with you, Sue, that COVID right now feels to me more problematic than the AMD.
Yeah.
I want to get to a couple questions in the chat because we're coming up to the 2 o'clock hour, and I know Sue, she probably would talk for another 2 hours, but
except the dogs have to go out.
Yeah. So you say. Anyway, Patty has asked. Patty, who is on the chat, has asked, Sue, do you know about, and we don't talk about it much in the group, but do you know about the telescopic implants some people get in one eye?
I've heard of them, yeah.
They asked if you would be a candidate for it, or I don't think you need it.
I don't think I need it to begin with.
Yeah.
And no, that to me, that's one of those stopgap things.
Yeah.
You know, like and I said this before, I said the research I'm in now is a stopgap. If they get the gene therapy that they can fix the complement cascade, and this doesn't happen, this is not going to be needed.
Well, there are also, though, people who may be in the point between intermediate where their AMD is progressing slowly enough that it will give them years of extra
That's true.
seeing.
It's true.
But with you, it wouldn't have helped you way back when, and you don't need it now.
No, I definitely don't need it now.
Here's another question related to that. Would you qualify for and or want or need a service dog?
I do not qualify for a service dog. My vision is, I mean, I move around. I have pretty good orientation skills.
Yeah.
And I've also got a big mouth, and I am not afraid to ask. I mean, I made my way through New York City talking to every police officer I saw.
Believe me, and you know, I want you all to listen to this, because one of the things Sue is saying is that there are people around you, and if you ask them for help, they'll help you. You know, a lot of people don't like to ask for help. Sue, I can tell you, even when we were in college, you could go into a grocery store and she would talk to everybody, the checkout person, you know, anybody. And you find that people are helpful. All you have to do is ask. And I know it's hard. It's hard.
I mean, I went up to the top of Rockefeller Center. Anybody ever gets to the top of the rock, I want you to find Artie and tell him I said hello. I got into a conversation with one of the guides / guards up there, you know, make sure that people don't try to jump. But we talked for half an hour. You know, we talked about everything you could possibly think of at the top of the, you know, Rockefeller Center. He was lovely. Went to the Lion King, and I said to the usher, please help me find my seat. I'm legally blind. I cannot read the numbers. He made sure that I found my seat. He made sure that I was able to get in and out, that I wasn't falling down the stairs because I missed one. People are wonderful. You know, you've just got to give them a chance. You know, and, you know, in my practice, again, I will say to people, let people help, because you're giving them a gift.
Amen.
And they said, what are you talking about? No, I'm not giving them a gift. I'm interfering with their lives. I'm demanding. I'm this. No. How do you feel when you're allowed to do something to help somebody else and they thank you? That's a gift.
No, Marilyn, she does not use a white cane.
Okay.
No, I do not. I do own a white cane. I'm not sure where it is right now.
I asked her, she was getting ready to go to Colorado, right? On the plane by herself. I said, you taking your white cane, at least take your symbol cane, you know, to hold it up in front of you. No.
Here I am, blind person. Yeah. No, I was fine. I had made arrangements ahead of time. The airlines knew that I was a special needs, right? I walk in, it's a little teeny tiny local airport, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. I don't know if anybody's ever been through it, but you know, I said to the girl, I said, I'm visually impaired. Where am I going? You know, she sent me there. I got about halfway, and then I talked to a guard, and the man was so gracious. You know, I basically, you get walked a whole lot of places. You know, my problem on the way to Colorado was they wanted to put me in a wheelchair. No, just point me in the right direction. But they are so gracious. I mean, do people ask? I mean, do you actually ask for help? I see at least one head going up and down. Anybody else? No, nobody asks?
Well, wait, some people here don't need it. Okay, we do have some people here who don't yet have a vision impairment or don't have a vision impairment as severe as yours. So that's probably what you're getting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, going into Walmart and trying to find things. You know, I'm always excuse me. You know?
Sue, I don't want to let anybody go until we address this last thing.
What's
And it's about the psychological impact of the diagnosis and the disease. And I had to remind you, yeah, Patty, I know you're here for your husband, thanks. I hope your husband's here with you. Is he here? I hope. He should watch this video. Anyway, when Sue is probably the best adjusted person I've ever known from way back, although there's some areas,
Really
you know.
crazy people, don't you?
Yeah, I know. But anyway, all right. Anyway, the point is that even as well adjusted as you were a mess in January of 2016. You could not sleep. You were waking up and you told me to remind you of this, you were waking up in the middle of the night with anxiety attacks.
5 times a night.
And you were crying and carrying on. And so what did you do?
Well, one thing I did was actually one of my psych tricks which was become the observer. And this is not what you're expecting, but I'm going to put this in here anyway. When you're the observer, it puts a certain amount of distance between you and what's happening.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean to be the observer?
Okay. As a psychologist, I had been told 1,000 times what it felt like to have a panic attack. So I was able to take my thinking brain and make it observe my physical and emotional self and go, okay, so that's what they mean when they say their heart's beating a mile a minute. And oh, that's what that means when they say that their stomach is upset. I became the clinician watching me. So that's one thing that I did. You know, I became my own subject, which puts a little distance between it because you're able to, you know, like be a little more objective. Did that. Also took my sorry little self to the doctor as quickly as I could for anti-anxiety meds. Okay, did that. And then once I got myself semi into emotional control, I started driving more people insane in my life. Please notice I said more, Lynn.
No comment.
No comment. Okay. I called the Bureau of Blindness and Visual Services, and bless his soul, Alan, I don't know, Alan retired years ago, but I said, listen, give me something to do, otherwise I will be driving you insane. You know, and bless his soul, he came to my rescue. I got thousands of dollars worth of stuff. I got a CCTV, I got a tablet, I got orientation and mobility.
And you were 62 at the time,
I was
so
62 at the time.
and
Now,
you got it because you wanted to continue to work.
I got all of this because I was working and I wanted to continue to work. Rumor has it that from Blindness and Visual Services, if you are not working, you get a paltry like $600. So if you are going to need their services, may I suggest that you stay working until you absolutely do. And then you get all the choice and then you can do what you want. But yeah, I mean, I reached out, you know, I yelled, you know, went crying to Lynn and she wrote a blog for me, or, you know, didn't write it, but published it. I went to Alan and, you know, said, get me everything you've got.
So in other words, after a period of, oh my God, I can't sleep, I'm having anxiety attacks, you started to do things. You looked for medication. As far as therapy, being a psychologist, you pretty much used you had the skills to use on yourself what you were helping with clients.
Oh yeah, because, you know, DBT has a whole section on distress tolerance. You know, so I was doing all that. You know, basically, and here I'm gonna lecture. So stop me if I get too far into it. DBT basically says there are
Whoa,
four ways.
whoa, whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute. We have to
What-
stop. Yeah, what's DBT?
Dialectic behavioral therapy. It's my school of therapy. Okay,
Go,
any more than that, do you?
go ahead. No,
Okay. There are four ways to handle a problem. One way is to solve it. Okay, if I can't solve the problem, because I'm sure as hell not going to give me my eyesight back, what am I going to do with it? The fourth way is to be miserable. Choose not to. That is the way to hell. So the other two are improve your overall emotional condition, do things to make yourself happy, or find ways to tolerate. So,
and Holly, who is with us, says she has terrible anxiety and depression. She is a little, well, she's very much in unknown territory because her vision problem was caused by taking a drug, and they don't quite know what's going to happen. So she's living with the uncertainty, the I don't know.
okay, well, most of us don't know. I mean, 6 years ago, if you had told me I was going to lose my sight in what it seemed to me overnight, I didn't know that. You know, did we know about COVID? No, we didn't know about that. All of a sudden we're locked down. So you don't know. But, you know, this is, like I said, part of the lecture. What you have now is now. And how are you right now? Are you comfortable? Are you happy? You know, how are you right now? You know, are your needs being met? I do this in session. I say, you know, how you doing? Oh, okay. Seat comfortable? Yep. Temperature good? Yep. You hungry? No. Okay. Company reasonably okay? Yeah. Then you're fine. Be now. And I know it's exceptionally hard. I know that.
And you are among many therapists who are doing therapy virtually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, like it's kind of nice actually, because I get to see my client's face.
Mhm.
If I'm in the office, I'm 4 feet away. And they don't have faces anymore. You know, yesterday I was so, you know, I've got a few people trained. Yesterday I got to actually go to the gym myself, and the local judge, whom I know, said, "Hi, Sue." And I gave him one of those looks, and he goes, "It's Tom James." I said, "Thank you." You know, I've got him trained. The number of people I don't have trained is amazing, but I keep trying.
Holly, do you have, Sue, Holly, do you have any specific questions for Sue as to what you might do to deal with your anxiety and depression? I mean, not a therapy session right now, but do you have any specific questions? Or any of you for that matter? Do you have any questions about how to deal with the anxiety and the depression? Anybody having anxiety and depression? Sharon.
I don't even,
Well, I was born a worrier, so you know that's just part of my nature. However, in recent years, I have discovered mindfulness, and I find that rewarding when I actually take the time to do it.
Yeah.
What I have found more than anything else, especially if I'm feeling anxiety, is just to find a place. Even if I'm in a public place, I go into the washroom, I just go into the stall, close my eyes, and I just focus on my breathing. And I can't believe how easily taking a slow, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, slowly 4 or 5 times, actually seems to, for me, sometimes it feels like I just popped a pill and I feel better. So all I wanted to do was to share that it doesn't have to be a big session. It doesn't have to be a half an hour. Sometimes, like I said, it's just finding a quiet place, close your eyes, put your hand on your chest, and just feel your breathing. And I personally have found that to be rewarding.
That's a physiological, that is actually a biochemical reaction. And you practice that. You know, when you started, you probably practiced a couple of minutes every day with breathing.
Mhm.
So it's one of those things.
I have found that for me to find something that can engage myself, that takes me out of myself,
Yes.
rather
Amen.
than the other way around, that really helps. I was a painter for years, and I'm not really painting right now. But I remember I taught adults, and I had a student who had both macular degeneration and diabetic retinopathy. And I would pick her up on the way to class because it was convenient, and that's what you do for people. And she would sit next to a student and she'd say, "I need red. Can you tell me where the red is?" And Ruth would lean over and they'd show her where the red was, and she'd pick it up. And could she paint like she used to? No, but she painted now and what she could do. And it taught me an enormous lesson. And so when some years later that I stopped painting, mostly stopped painting, I still taught for a number of years, I started writing. And you'd say, well, how could you write if you can't paint? But with writing, I could sit down for 10 or 15 minutes, rest my eyes, come back, turn my head. But painting, you have to set up. It was just different. But I have found, for me, finding something to engage myself that I can do every day to fill myself. So this is not how I plan to spend my years any more than it is for any of us. And with COVID, we're very self-quarantined, back to being self-quarantined. Hopefully,
Talk about COVID. Don't be silly.
No, yeah, well, yeah, let's not go there. But, you know,
Yes.
just doing something like this, okay, here we are sitting at rooms all over the country, maybe the world. Joan's not with us right now well, she was in Canada, but we're talking, okay? And Holly, I wonder if you have found somebody to talk to about this. Holly's continuing, she's asking if there are basic coping skills. And I would say, Holly, if you haven't talked to a doctor about perhaps taking a medication or trying a medication to get you stabilized to where you can practice some of these coping skills, I think it's worth exploring. So
I was going to say, Margie and Sharon are actually a wealth of knowledge here.
they always are.
They
Marilyn's just being quiet right now, but she's a wealth too.
they don't realize it, but they just basically talked about DBT.
Mhm.
Okay, there is a whole section on mindfulness in DBT. It's a 12-week program, and it talks about the breathing. And I just read, no, I belong to BARD. And if you are legally blind and if you like books, get on BARD. It's free.
It's from the National Library Service, for those who don't know. And if you search the group's posts for BARD, you can find more information.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So at any rate, I'm just finishing up listening to breathe or breath, whichever it is, breath, which is all about breathing. And, you know, with the mindfulness, I always, you know, when I tell my clients, I said, your mind's a puppy. When you are housebreaking a dog, you put him on the paper and he runs away and he leaves you a little present underneath the table. And then you pick him up and you put him back on the paper. And then he runs over and leaves a little present behind the couch. And then you put him back on the paper. And that is what you need to do with your mind. You put it where it's supposed to be, it wanders off, you bring it back. You put it where it's supposed to be, it wanders off, you bring it back. And that's
where you're supposed to be is in a very good place, not thinking about, oh my God, I won't be able to see whatever. You're to be in a good place.
Doing exactly what Margie and Sharon do.
Yeah.
Put your mind someplace that's positive.
Yeah. Yeah. and it wanders, the puppy wanders, the mind, yeah, whatever. I just lost that thought. Wanders away. You bring your mind back to that good place. It wanders away. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to
Times a
do.
day,
Right. Yeah.
1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
It wanders, you bring it back.
And there's no side effect as far as deep breathing, unless you hyperventilate. I don't know how you do that. You can do these deep breathing exercises as many times a day as you need them.
The only way you might hyperventilate is if you breathe wrong. And it's actually chest breathing will make you lightheaded. You have to abdominally breathe.
Yeah.
Right, Sharon?
Sharon?
Yes. When I breathe, even if I'm in the car, I will take a slow, deep breath in through my nose.
Mm-hmm.
I hold that breath for maybe 2 or 3 seconds only. And then through my lips, I call it lip pursed breathing. I will push the breath out.
But you're breathing from your abdomen.
Slowly.
In other words,
Yes.
if you put your hand on your stomach as you're breathing,
Yeah.
you feel that
Exactly.
area. Yeah.
When you take that deep breath, I just happen to do it in through the nose.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from way down deep. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just coming from the upper chest.
Yeah.
I just choose to blow it out.
Yeah. Oh no,
through the
that's
lips.
No, that's right.
that's
No,
right.
You're doing square breathing. You're
Yeah.
going in 4, hold 4,
Mhm.
out 4, hold 4.
Yeah.
So it's
Works for me. I like it.
it actually, it's a physiological response. It works for everybody if they give it a chance.
And if you're having an extreme anxiety attack or panic attack, and I can attest to this because I've had them, go put really cold water on your face
Okay.
or ice or something like that.
Okay,
It's a
Lynn,
go ahead. Go ahead.
look up TIP in DBT, TIP.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
and
dear.
basically, huh?
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Okay. It's exactly what you're talking about. The first one is temperature, then it's intense exercise, and then it's pace breathing.
Mhm.
So and there is a physiological reason for this. Your vagus nerve is the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest. And I see Sharon shaking her head, so you know about this, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
And if you can trigger your parasympathetic nervous system, you can bring down your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight, flight, or freeze system.
Mhm.
So,
Well, people get confused when you say stimulate. Stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system is, as you said, it's calming it down. People
Yeah.
look at the word stimulate and they think the opposite. No, it's not. It's making you mellow.
it's a seesaw.
Yeah.
When the sympathetic is up, the parasympathetic is down.
Mhm.
So you bring up the parasympathetic and then the sympathetic goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But TIP it's the ice, and then it's intense exercise, and then it's the breathing. And that's
I drop down and I do 20 push-ups.
Oh,
Good
Sharon.
girl. All right.
Sharon. Honestly, you didn't have to add that.
I'm
Now I feel so
you-
depressed.
You drop down and you do 20 push-ups and you can use your knees, but keep your back straight, ladies. Don't put your butt up in the air.
No,
Okay, I'm telling you right now, that'll knock right out of that anxiety really fast.
Yes, you will. Other things, for one thing, like, oh my God, I'm dying.
Oh, yeah. How many times I've thought that, oh my God, I'm dying. Well, why should I move? I'm just going to die. I'm here.
During the push-ups,
Yeah.
I have my shoulder right now, so that's driving me crazy. But another thing you can do to be mindful is just stand on one foot. So what do you think of when you're standing on one foot?
Not falling.
Dear God, let me not fall over.
Okay. Hi. That's one. You held that from me. Okay.
I use that. I don't tell you all my secrets.
I know. Have 40 more years. Maybe I'll learn them.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know about that. Oh, well, I always say if the next 68 are as good as the first 68, I haven't seen. So, what are you going to do?
Does
Okay.
anybody have any questions? I don't, want to lose it. Okay, Marilyn, go ahead.
I do have a question. You mentioned not being able to see people's faces and who they were.
Yeah.
I had a real problem with my dad, and he couldn't see faces, and I would tell people that he couldn't see their face, and they had to tell him who they were. And they always would say, but he knows my voice.
No.
So how do you explain? I don't need anybody now. My dad's gone. But when the time comes, how do you tell somebody that they need to tell you who they are without sounding, I don't know.
Well, good luck, because I have been trying now for the past 6 years. I've got 2 people trained. I've got the judge and I've got the judge's wife. And I hardly ever see them.
It's a small town.
It's a small town, but okay, occasionally sometimes I also have a girl who I know who's a nurse, and she'll say it's Bridget, but they don't think. We don't look like we have visual impairment.
Right.
People will look at me and go, well, you don't look like you're blind. Well, what the hell am I supposed to look like?
Yeah, you should have a thing on your forehead that flashes, right?
I think I wrote a page on that.
Yes.
I'm not going to get a sign. I am visually impaired.
Some people wear buttons.
Yeah.
My dad had a hat.
Now, Sue, you need to know that her father lived to 104
Wow, cool.
in a healthy way until the very last. So,
Okay, but you have good genes. May you.
Yeah.
what I told her. That's what I told her.
But no,
Sue, I just personally want to thank you for coming on and speaking to us, talking about your personal life. It means a great deal to me. Thank you.
Yes,
you're
thank you.
welcome. Thank you. I mean, I had no clue. I said to Lynn, I said, well, we'll probably have 1 or 2. We can do it as an open forum conversation, because who wants to learn about me?
Oh, now see the problem, and part of the problem is I've been publishing your papers since February of 2016,
Yeah.
and you've written so much. Like I try to recommend your best stuff, and I share all the stuff you're writing for that other site. And yeah, those people, and they just have a lot of people don't want to read now. They want information in small bites, and some people need it because of their vision, but there are other people who just don't invest the time in reading, so that they we've got Sharon here who's been with me from the very beginning, and there have been others. They met you before they met me, and I have been telling them about you for years and years and years. And I said to somebody of Maryland before we started, why am I just doing video now? 2 years people have been doing this. It is so good to get people together to talk about it, and I think we ought to try to do this more often. And we would like to have you back, wouldn't we?
Yes.
You would like to have me back. I don't know about anybody else. But okay.
If we, yeah, I know you have to go walk the dogs.
No, eventually I do. I think it's raining, so I have to stick my head out and actually see.
See that? How do you know it's raining, Sue? If you can't see it, I stick my head out the window.
My head out, and if I get wet, it's raining. The ground is wet, but that doesn't mean it's coming down right now.
See, this is what life has been with my best friend Sue. I get these answers. How do you do? Well, da 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 da.
Stick your head out. Yeah, if your hair gets wet, it's raining. I mean, what else do you want?
Ellen,
or you look on your phone and it says weather.
Ellen in California got up really early to be with us, so you haven't said a thing. Do you have any questions? You're still in your robe.
Oh, I did ask a question about the stem cell.
All right. Anything else? No?
Where are you, Ellen? Are you, I don't even have.
Yeah, she's here. She's
Uh,
got,
Well,
Oh,
I
there
do
she
have
is.
a,
Hi.
I do have a question.
What's that?
So, I recently discovered gummies.
Okay, cannabis.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
God.
I had, yeah, Linda,
yeah, sorry.
What? She was,
Oh.
she was like interjecting. So what did you say?
Yeah, she was probably scolding.
Mm-mm.
So, my daughter just recently turned me on to cannabis infused gummies for insomnia. So, do you use anything like cannabis or?
I do not. I have a number of clients who do. We have medical marijuana here. Like it's not legal unless you have the little medical card. But I have lots of clients who do, who use it regularly. Some people who swear by it for pain, some people who swear by it for anxiety. I'm not, okay, unless the only time
Sorry.
any psychotropics was when I first lost my vision and I was an unholy mess. So I do not do mind-altering substances.
You don't need it, do you? You use exercise pretty much.
I was going to say, even if I am, I do recommend, like go see your psychiatrist to my clients. Knock on wood, knock on formica. So far I haven't needed it except that one time. Okay, do you feel?
I
like,
have.
have
What?
you? What?
You
Oh, yes.
use what?
Oh, yeah. Ellen, I've used gummies during extreme anxiety when the breathing may not work or the exercise may not work. My God, it's been months. So that tells you that I must be doing a pretty good job. But yes, I will take not a whole gummy. I will take a bite, a half a gummy, and I try to relax. And within an hour, I'm feeling much more in control. Not high, not silly, just relaxed, and it helps me to sleep.
And
So
that,
I have done it, and I have been successful at it.
Ellen, I just wanted to say that my reaction was if you were going to go into the cannabis for macular degeneration, but what you brought up is a different topic, and I'm not going to say anything. I've never tried it for anxiety. I don't have that much.
Anxiety, I have a lot of clients that say it's good. I do not lecture them as far as, ooh, don't do that. No, I mean, you know yourself better than anybody else knows you.
How do you know though, how do you know there's so many varieties out there? How do you know what you're getting in them?
I mean, have clients that basically, A, they've done their own research. B, they go into the dispensary and say, I need it for this. And the people at the dispensary will make suggestions. Now, they are actually using tinctures and the actual weed. They are using whatever you call it when it looks like tobacco.
That's weed. That's marijuana.
THC?
THC, yeah. That's the chemical in the weed that makes people high.
That's the chemical in the weed. They are actually, like you go into jars and it's in there like, like the vegetative state. I've never had anybody that really uses the gummies, except recreationally, but the people I know who are using the tinctures and the actual weed are getting good results.
But do they use it? Do they have a medical card for it?
They have medical cards.
Okay.
That's Pennsylvania.
I have a medical card, Ellen, and I go to a dispensary because those people are the experts and they will help guide you.
See, Georgia, we do not have that. We don't have medical marijuana stuff.
Where are you getting your stuff?
What a conversation. Where are you getting your stuff? Hey, man, where are you getting your stuff?
Is it some places regulated?
Are you talking to me?
Yep.
Well, I've only been to a dispensary once, which is in San Jose, California. And then just recently, my daughter gave me a package of gummies. just last month. And since that time, I placed my own order. And, you know, like I said, I live in California where we can get anything.
Yeah, yeah,
And-
yeah.
And so listen to this. So I placed my order and it was delivered to me. Delivered to me.
Well, that's California. I just evaluated a guy who's going to be an armed guard at a dispensary. You know, so that's different. You know, like we have hydroponic farms in the area, and they have armed guards. So that's the difference between California and Pennsylvania. Hey,
Yeah.
it gives me money. I do the avals, and hey, I'm happy. But be that as it may, I would only be suggestive that wherever you get it, it's regulated.
Yes, yes,
That's the-
absolutely.
What's the
And-
difference? Sorry, what's the difference between CB, whatever it is, and straight marijuana? Is that
The chemical, the CBD, the marijuana has something in it called THC, and that's the psychotropic. That's what gets people high. CBD has an inactive, what is it, Sue? What is it? Is it a lack of THC in CBD? That's the thing that makes it what it is.
I think that's it. I don't know that much about it. At the moment, I'm still trying to find some information on OCD and genderqueer. So I haven't gotten into that one yet. I'll get into the marijuana a little later.
You need to do something about your dry eyes, dear. You've been rubbing them this whole time.
I know it's because it's because it's been a while and I haven't wanted to put this.
You did take my advice?
I will. I'm gonna have to order it.
Okay.
I've got stuff that my husband brought home though.
Yeah, has
Yeah.
a dry eye problem now. So.
Personally,
Okay.
I think exercise, mindfulness, breathing, for me, that's my first go-to. Before I would even, I mean, the gummy was like a last resort, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you are capable, and excuse me, I'll put this in.
Go ahead.
If you are capable of doing the exercise, I would start there. And then with the breathing, but you know, a good yoga class that incorporates both of them.
And you can find them online. Yes,
Yes.
Ellen.
So
Yeah.
I did the jazzercise for 13 years, but COVID took a,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking a hit on everything.
You
right.
can't.
So what I do now is I go on a bike ride, probably 3 to 5 times a week
Wow. And
for an hour.
Sharon swims.
Out where it's actually nature.
I'm sorry?
Are you out in nature?
Well, in my neighborhood.
Okay, I was going to say nature is a great healer. Just being out with, you know, trees and grass and everything. That's the reason, huh?
And I can't do yoga. I just was diagnosed with glaucoma. And they said, no putting your head in a downward position.
No inversions. Okay.
Right.
Look online. At the moment, Maggie Darling, who's actually been pretty quiet, managed to screw my shoulder over. At the moment, I have 2 ripped tendons in my rotator cuff. I have, what else do I have? I have,
cry me a river.
I know, I have all those, but no, I'm not, I have no intentions of getting it, you know.
Go ahead.
This is driving me crazy. And my point is that I know it's all a matter of, you know, like.
Hey, did you see the research that they now have exercise in a pill? I just saw that headline. Yeah, the headline is exercise in a pill.
When you do that, but my I'm trying to tell you by a long way around here. And
Go ahead.
Is that I went online and I found no arm yoga.
What?
No, I found no arm yoga. I found yoga for people, the poses that you can do if you don't have a decent shoulder. It's online. I bet you any money that if you go online and find no inversion,
Well, and you can certainly chair yoga. You going too, Sharon? We have
Sorry,
some-
I do have to
Yeah,
go.
that's okay. We
Bye,
have some
bye.
other people who are leaving, so. Yes, Cindy, Sue and I have quite a unique and wonderful relationship. There's no doubt about that. Huh?
okay, now where's Cindy?
Oh, she just left.
I,
Yeah, I think she did. Well, anyway.
I'm here. I'm still
Oh,
here.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Cindy. So
Yeah.
you think we have a good relationship, huh?
Yeah, it's very special, and you're very blessed to have that. I can see it. I can really see it through your interaction. So I just wanted to comment on that.
We don't do this enough. We don't do the live stuff enough. We email almost every day. If it's a couple days, we haven't emailed. Somebody gets on text and says, "Are you okay?" Da da da. And to be honest, we haven't seen each other in person live for I don't even want to know. No. Have you been married that long?
yeah, I've been married. It was 31 years in October.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that when we see each other again, it will be as if no time has passed. And I am very lucky.
Oh, thank you. Me too.
No, me
Okay,
too.
anything else, ladies?
Yeah, anything else, because I think we're running out of bladder, length of bladder, holding the bladder time, that kind of thing. We've gone, what, an hour and a half or more?
Let me see. We have an
Oh.
hour and a half.
We'll get you back, Sue.
Okay,
I think what we'll do is in the future, we'll talk about that other thing, the DBT thing more, but I think what we can do is maybe get you back on a specific topic like using, I don't know, we'll think about it. So we'll get you back.
it's actually been, this is going to sound crazy, but it's actually been so long since my eyes have been the center of my interest.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to do some brushing up.
Oh my. Okay. Well, we're trying to figure out what Sue does when she retires. So if you have any suggestions for her, I said she needs to find a topic for a fiction book where the heroine has a vision disorder. And Sue, I thought about this as part of it. One of your abilities as a detective is that you live in a magnified world. You see.
Okay.
So you see things that other people don't. But we'll talk more about it. You need a book deal.
Why do I have to write it if you have all the ideas?
No. You're going to retire. I'm busy. Yeah. And then we're going to go on this book tour around the world, and I'm going to be your personal assistant, and somebody else is going to pay. We got that. All right.
The big fancy publishing company is going to put us up in Paris and London.
Yeah, and we're going to take the Orient Express. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
hey, if Sue and I disappeared, that's what we're doing. So
we'll let you know. We'll
Yeah,
post. Bye.
All right, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm out of here. Take care.